morsel, ritual, new data. What time is it? God damn it! Onyx! Onyx, wake up!
What? Can't you see? I'm trying to get my beauty rest. What is going on?
We overslept. Look at the time.
Heaven, disable hypnostasis alarm defense grid.
I'm sorry, Onyx. I did not hear that.
Heaven, disable hypnostasis alarm defense.
I'm sorry, Onyx. I cannot hear you over the hypnostasis alarm defense grid.
Heaven, turn the alarm off.
As you wish. Temporary authorized user.
You made me a temporary authorized user for your little AI henchman? Darling, is there a reason why I'm not programmed into her databanks as, I don't know, DeVogler?
God, you are so dramatic sometimes. Just be grateful that I even gave you limited authorization for certain functions.
Limited authorization?
Will you please get dressed? We are going to be late.
Darling, we are already late. We should just call that hack and reschedule for later today. Our appointment is supposed to start in 5 minutes.
First of all, we can't call because you killed that secretary last week. And secondly, we can't reschedule. I have that hostile takeover of the Geneva Convention later, and you promised to remove all the corpses from the dungeon today.
Fine! Whatever! How do you propose we get there in time then?
As always, I have a secret plan. I may have recently acquired something that would get us there instantly.
How much was it?
Before you say anything, it was on sale. Do you know how often handheld transdimensional output generators go on sale? Never. And the markup?
You bought a portal gun?
It is a handheld transdimensional output generator, and it only cost you $4.2 million.
You are going to be the death of me!
Do you want to use it or not?
Duh! Yes! Of course I want to use the portal gun!
For the last time, it is a handheld output generator.
Whatever! Oh! Oh, hi, Janine. Hey. Oh, wow. You are looking healthy today. Did you do something to your hair since since I murdered you?
Oh, God. You must be Onyx and DeVogler.
Yes. Dr. Redacted makes us introduce ourselves every session. We know the drill.
Okay, Eric, you've got this. Dr. warned you about this, and this is why we have protocol in place.
Eric? Okay, that is a very weird way to pronounce Janine. Either way, we're going to be late, so please move before I have to kill you again.
You're a ghoul.
Thank you, darling.
Bye, Janine.
Hello, you're on time. This is a first. Did you check in with Eric at the front desk? He was supposed to notify me when you arrived. But no matter, please. Sit.
How did that happen? I guess the portal gun.
Perfect. As always, my name is Dr. and welcome to another session of couples therapy. Today, I'd like to revisit the little twist we put on things in our last session and have you select 2 personas that you have already introduced here in this office and continue a private conversation that they would have been having. First, please introduce yourselves to one another so that we can start things off on the right side of the bed. If possible, we should aim to keep this exercise to a maximum of, say, 25 minutes. No pressure, though. Ready? Begin.
All right. Once again, apparently, because we don't do anything else in this office, my name is Onyx, and I am a pop star and a supervillain. I call my fans legends, and I just think I am just the best.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Excuse me. I slept like the dead. Hi, my name is DeVogler, and I am a very tired demon. Data corruption spreads wherever I go, and if that sort of deal with the devil tickles your fancy, come find me on the dark web. But, Henry, I gotta pick your brain about something. I was thinking the other day about something you said.
I'm so sorry to cut you off, my dear Tedward, my dearest friend. I woke up this morning with a Dallas, Texas fever.
A Dallas, Texas fever? That's gotta be at least 3 degrees hotter.
Yeah, I can't tell if it was a nightmare or if it was some sort of a really intense dream that I was having. But do you remember? Let me take you back here for a second.
Take me on back. Take me back to the ranch.
Thank you, my friend. Do you remember? Now, I said I wasn't going to bring up their names.
Oh, here we go.
Do you remember Skeeter and Peter McBush?
Henry, I'm going to be completely honest with you. A man of God to another man of God. If I could go the entire rest of my adult life without hearing the names Peter and Skeeter McBush again, well, I could die a happy man.
Now, I promised on several of my dinette sets I wouldn't bring this back up, but I'm a man of God, so I will relinquish them to the nearest Salvation Army. But
I'll hold you to it.
I was just thinking, they really screwed with me. Let me take you back for a moment, my friend, because I think you remember this story. If you do remember my dinette set agent, Jericho.
Oh, Jericho.
I mean, the shining star of the dinette set community. I bagged him. I had him until I had my eyes on the March of the Penguins commemorative dinette set. I was going to get it for my children. Do you remember that dinette set?
Henry, I remember that dinette set like I was born next to it. The March of the Penguins commemorative dinette set is one of the finest pieces of polar dinette set making that's ever come across my desk. How could I forget it?
I mean, down to the chairs. And the chairs. Wow.
I have to ask. I'm so sorry to cut you off because now I might be getting my penguin related movie tie-in dinette sets confused. Is the March of the Penguins commemorative dinette set, is this the one with the chairs that have the little wangs on them? As you probably are aware, penguins incapable of flight. They are fairly hydrodynamic though, so the wings are more for pushing them through the water.
Now, see, that's a common misconception. You're thinking of the Happy Feet dinette set. And let me tell you, that's a lot of plastic for me. But back to this dinette set, because let me tell you about this bad boy. We're not talking about penguin chairs. This is for, my boys. And, they're going to grow up to be men. And the chairs were made of Antarctican ice.
Now, I remember reading an article once about the Antarctican ice that these chairs were sculpted out of. And if I remember correctly, the chemical composition of the Antarctican ice makes it so that they don't melt, no matter how hot it gets.
Correct. Do you find yourself having a difficult time keeping your kids at the dinner table?
I'll be honest with you. Ever since we took the iPads away, my wife the other day, she came to me and she said,
Tedward, if you don't take that little iPad away from Tiny Jessica, well, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to take Tiny Jessica and we're going to go to my mom's house.
And I said, you're the woman that I love. You're the woman that I married. And we'll just take that iPad away right quick. So no more iPad, dinner at the Kraft Mac and Cheese commemorative deluxe dinette set. Life's been good.
Well, it must be nice for you, but I do not have that luxury in my home. My home is significantly larger than yours is.
That is true.
And I can't keep track of the kids. So that is the beauty of this type of ice. It is actually the same effect as dry ice. And have you ever touched dry ice with your bare hand?
Now, I do have to stop you, though. We're talking about the March of the Penguins commemorative dinette set. We got 4 chairs here made of Antarctican ice, but I feel as though, and I could be wrong, I feel like your tone is a little icy. I feel like there's something
dirty dog.
I feel like there's something on your mind with this Jericho thing, with the McBushes. Something's not right with you.
I know. What had happened was my youngest son, Lil Chris.
Oh, Lil Chris.
Now that is the light of my eye, and it's so hard to sit my kids down and try to explain to them the importance of a dinette set. And when he saw that dinette set in the official DinetteCon catalog, I saw a twinkle in his eye.
Well, he is the child of a discerning gentleman of taste when it comes to dinette set ownership. It would be a goddamn shame if you sat that boy down and said, Lil Chris, take a look at this March of the Penguins commemorative dinette set. And God forbid he starts talking, Dad, I want the Barbie commemorative dinette set. I want the Matt Reeves is the Batman commemorative dinette set. These are blockbuster films, of course. They're fine films, fine dinette sets to accompany those films. But March of the Penguins is, we're talking historical.
We are, and even when, I approached really slowly there because I didn't want to spook him. And, even when I came in there and I told him, if you don't keep this thing in direct sunlight for 24 hours in a day, it will procure a weaponized penguin that shoots up the center, almost like a ball in Hungry Hippo.
Oh,
and that
got
thing
it.
just shoots up like a NASA spacecraft.
Right.
And it just ricochets around the house, and that thing will get you. Those beaks are sharp.
I once had the opportunity to purchase one of these March of the Penguins commemorative dinette sets, and I don't know that I'm prepared to own the March of the Penguins commemorative dinette set. And knowing that you have it, I think I made the right choice.
That's where you're wrong, my friend.
Oh, no. Henry, what?
I was never able to get it for my sweet child.
Henry.
After he loved it, I called Jericho. I took out my phone and went, "Hey, Jericho." And you know what he said to me?
What did Jericho say?
"Well, hey there, Henry. How's it going, my favorite man on earth?" And I said, "You know what, Jericho? I need this dinette set. It was number Q49966B/B. And he said, "Oh, you talking about the March of the Penguins?" And I said, "Well, yeah, of course I am." And he said, and it was kind of strange because I heard someone else in the background of the phone call.
Interesting.
I heard some whispering, and I wasn't sure who it was, but he came back and he said, "I'm sorry. I think you have the wrong number." Click.
And he hung up on you.
Jericho hung up on me. I just paid his retainer of $266,000 US American dollars.
And that is a per month retainer. But we're talking about Jericho. So Jericho, he hangs up on you, and what are you doing?
I do appreciate that, Tedward, because this is really eating away at me. Multiple things are eating away at me. Do you remember when I asked you to accompany me to the 2014 DinetteCon Extreme?
Hey, Mom, Dad, I want to go to DinetteCon Extreme for my birthday this year.
Sorry, little Charlie, too extreme for you. DinetteCon Extreme, hosted this year in Winnipeg, the largest gathering on Earth of Dinette. We're talking table and chair. Hosted by Bromil and Dinette Depot. This year's special guests, Peter and Skeeter McBush. Get your tickets now for DinetteCon Extreme.
Tickets for DinetteCon Extreme are final sale and non-refundable. DinetteCon Extreme is not responsible for any avalanche, earthquake, or Mabubu bird-related deaths. How could I forget? Henry, I'm not sure. Us both being discerning gentlemen of taste when it comes to dinette sets, but of course, being different souls, if you will, inhabiting different bodies, we have different perceptions of certain events. And I'll tell you, when you invited me to the 2014 DinetteCon Extreme, I thought, well, here's my opportunity to take my friendship with my best friend to the next level. It's not every day that your best friend asks you to go to DinetteCon Extreme. That's only the third one that they had ever hosted.
I mean, it's like the X Games of DinetteCons. I mean, this thing is crazy in Winnipeg.
Now, remind me, the first one was in Tokyo. The second one was in Brazil. And that was the one with the unfortunate avalanche.
That was terrible.
Lot of folks died, and more importantly,
I hid underneath the dinette set and it saved me.
I remember that. I remember. I was in the VIP area watching the carnage. So I'm definitely, as the kids say, I'm checking my privilege on that one.
Yeah, I just happened to be right next to the avalanche preparedness dinette set.
You know what? And honestly, I think that it's unfortunate because there were, of course, a lot of people, a lot of buzz around the avalanche dinette set itself. There are a lot of people talking. We should not be having an avalanche dinette set. It's too dangerous. An act of God could happen. Because, the thing about the avalanche dinette set is if you talk too loud next to it...
Seriously. Or your phone rings.
God forbid your phone rings. Because anything above a whisper... And that dinette set comes crashing down,
I mean, when you hear that ground rumbling, and that thing is rumbling, that thing is rumbling so hard that you hear women's acrylic snapping right off their fingers.
The sound of the Sherpas coming down that mountain, faster than lightning. There's snow coming down. You would truly, truly think something's not right. And, well, something's not right.
Well, luckily we escaped that dinette con, because that was a doozy. But let's get back.
I'm glad we went back for the next year, though, because this was the year. This was a good time.
It was worth it. I did get to do several articles, and it really did. I think that is what helped me land Jericho, that son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Yeah. But anyways, when we decided to go to Dinette Con Extreme, I was not completely honest in regards to my intentions.
Well, Henry, it's been years. You're going back to your Dallas fever. I'm wondering, has this been eating away at you for over a decade?
I'm not really like you. It hasn't been eating me up. I'm not really an emotional person.
Right.
But it did scare me last night. My wife told me,
You need to just talk to him about it because you've been keeping this secret.
I had written this down in my journal, and it was just getting to me. And you know what? Do you remember, I brought a dinette set to that dinette con, which is usually not how you do things around here.
How could I forget? It was a beautiful dinette set. What I really remember about the dinette set, though, was the craftsmanship. This dinette set, I remember it heavier than God.
That thing, wow, that was almost heavier than the truck that was carrying it.
Well, it was. The decision to construct the dinette set with marble, this being the Greek Pantheon dinette set of 1972, the only remaining Greek Pantheon dinette set, after, the Avalanche dinette set preceded by, of course, the Earthquake dinette set. An unfortunate choice to place the Earthquake dinette set near the collection of Greek Pantheon dinette sets, but regardless, there you are.
A mistake.
You're the sole owner of the last Greek Pantheon dinette set. And of course, why do you bring it up?
Now, I know I had told you, I was spending all this money on Jericho. My homes are just eating away at my wallet. My wife is just out there just spending money.
Spandy Wendy.
That's what they call her, and I get it now. I told you I was going there because I needed to auction that dinette set. You cautioned me against it, but I lied to you, my friend.
I am.
And I'm ready. I'm ready to take the dinette set sized weight off of my heart.
Well, listen, Henry, I am simply bracing for impact. If I've learned anything over the years of dinette set and the cutthroat world of dinette set trading, it's that nothing surprises me anymore. So, lay it on me.
All right. I never even brought the Greek Pantheon dinette set to Dinette Con. I know.
Wait a damn minute. You never...
I know that's
how's that even possible?
I know that's what you saw. But what I did is I drove my happy ass on down to Dinette Depot. And the artisans there, they can work wonders. There's a lot of counterfeiting going on there at Dinette Depot. And in my basement, in a locked room behind a metal door, 2 metal doors actually, my friend.
Interesting.
I had a limited edition Arnold Schwarzenegger presents the Terminator dinette set.
Are you saying that you had the artisans at Dinette Depot make you the Arnold Schwarzenegger presents the Terminator dinette set for the purposes of hunting down Jericho and Peter and Skeeter McBush like animals in the night? Because this dinette set is a weaponized dinette set. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. A collector's item, but These things are dangerous.
That dinette set, there is almost none of it that resembles a traditional dinette set. Every single detail on this thing, handcrafted, but fully weaponized.
You know, that's the thing, because when we talk about dinette sets, we're talking table and chairs here. But the Arnold Schwarzenegger Presents The Terminator dinette set is one of those dinette sets that really makes you question, what does it mean to be a dinette set? Are we talking table and chairs? Are we talking a place for the family to sit around when you're having cigars with the boys? You're having a poker night, or maybe you're having a fine lady over, sharing a couple of beverages. I wonder, you know, we got this dinette set weaponized. I mean, maybe
disguised as a Greek pantheon, which, you know, give it up to those guys at Dinette Depot, because they fooled you, and you are a professional.
I will give you a little bit of insight. I was not on the top of my game that day.
Why?
I was excited. I was excited for us to go to Dinette Con Extreme, you know, after the previous year's Dinette Con Extreme with the Avalanche dinette set where all those people died. You know, I was excited. I'm with my best friend, and I'm planning on making this the trip of a lifetime. So to be honest, I should have known something was different, but I let it slide.
And I used that, and I'm so sorry. I knew you were excited, and I said, this is my opportunity. This is my opportunity. And you're probably asking yourself, you know, why would you, Henry, get on the dark web and get yourself an Arnold Schwarzenegger Presents The Terminator dinette set?
Henry, I'll be real with you. It's the exact question I'm asking myself. I am asking myself, why would you get on the dark web to purchase yourself an Arnold Schwarzenegger Presents The Terminator dinette set?
It's very simple, my friend. And, you know, these things that you buy on the dark web, I would not recommend it for dinette sets.
No.
This is I will say, this is the only one I purchased on the dark web.
All right.
I did some testing.
Oh, with the dinette set?
Yes, I did. Because there was no information about, you know, what is weaponized? How do you activate the weapons? And it's not what you would think.
Huh. Now, I'm mixing up my dinette sets, but, you know, one dinette set manufacturer will probably include a couple of details and features, you know, the craftsmanship of one dinette set to the other. I could imagine that this Arnold Schwarzenegger Presents The Terminator dinette set may have similar features to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Presents Predator dinette set, but I could be wrong.
You are entirely wrong. Are you familiar with the concept of time travel?
As a basic concept, I am aware of time travel, yes.
Are you aware of the social concept of weaponizing time travel?
Are you talking about using time travel to your own advantage, like maybe going back in time and killing your enemies when they're children so that they can't grow up to become your enemies in real life?
Correct.
Fascinating.
Yes. So that is exactly why I use this particular dinette set.
Oh,
on my mission, because
the time travel of the I am aware of the film. I have seen it, and I'm understanding now. I'm getting it.
Mm-hmm. The crazy thing about this dinette set, and during my testing, I figured this out. One day, I walked my happy ass down to the basement. I turned on the light, and it's, you know, it's that one little light bulb on the little string. Very classic Texas. And I looked around. There was no dinette set in sight. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've made a mistake. Someone either broke in here or this thing is sentient.
Well, you'd think one of the two options. I mean, it's a fairly large dinette set. How could it possibly just go missing?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened?
I went back upstairs. I kept my calm because my wife and kids are up there. But I noticed something. I'm looking at my beautiful wife in the kitchen, chopping up some vegetables for dinner.
Of course.
You know, I went up to her. Yep. I went up to her. I gave her a kiss. Out of the corner of my eye to the right, I saw her again, same exact time, come out of the restroom.
Interesting.
That version of my wife yelled at me and asked me why I hadn't picked up any almond milk because she was on some new diet.
So are you telling me that the Arnold Schwarzenegger Presents The Terminator dinette set had created a temporal distortion in your home, and now there's two of your wives?
It morphed into my wife.
It morphed into your wife.
It did. As soon as I saw this thing as my wife in the kitchen, light bulb flashed above my head.
Right above your head.
It did. You know, I calmed it down. I promised it snacks. notoriously they love their snacks.
Well, of course.
This dinette set is a hungry dinette set, and it just wants fruit roll-ups, to be completely honest.
Interesting. You know, it's fascinating to learn the dinette sets that have something that is related to sentience, whether it's they want table settings or they want you to just say nice things to them or keep them polished. You know, the ones that want sacrifices in terms of food items, interesting dinette sets to be sure.
Anyways, so I lured this thing in the basement. I had a simple conversation. I was like, sit down, pull up a chair. I said, sit down. Arnold Schwarzenegger presents the Terminator dinette set. Let's speak mano y mano.
Man to man.
Exactly. I got a problem with these two brothers.
Interesting.
They collect dinette sets. They are working in tandem to keep a dinette set from my child. And I kid you not. Have you ever seen a tier? And by this time, of course, it had already morphed back into the table and chairs form.
And by table and chairs, you mean everything is weaponized. This is an amalgam
machine guns and robot arms,
machetes,
and the big red eye.
Fascinating.
And it's just like, it's got this rumbling sound of like machinery, you know?
Sure.
And I saw out of the red eye, right on the center, a tear.
A single tear of a robot.
And then it winked at me. And I knew.
Wait, hold on. Winked like it was winking at you from across the bar, or winked at you like it understood what you were trying to tell it?
I see where your mind went there.
Huh.
It was like it understood my positioning. Because it had just been upstairs making food for my child.
It had been posing as your wife. I'm following along.
A lot of time in that basement.
Did you name it?
I did.
What'd you name it?
I named it Pluto.
Interesting. Pluto. Huh.
Absolutely. Now let's fast forward a moment, because now things are going to start making sense for you, my friend.
I'm waiting for this to Christopher Nolan congeal in my mind.
Do you remember the auction at DinetteCon Extreme, where I presented the Greek Pantheon dinette set in front of a roaring crowd of dinette enthusiasts?
There were reports from that DinetteCon Extreme that the crowd size there was dwarfed only by that Madonna concert that happened recently. You know, the one where she allowed everyone to sell their own merchandise? Yeah, so that DinetteCon Extreme, even though, you know, people aren't really keeping good records of these things, I believe more people there than were there for Madonna.
That's an interesting fact that I did not know. Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome for that.
Are you wondering why I held you back from approaching the stage?
I thought you were holding me back, to be completely honest with you, because you know that when it comes to dinette sets of a certain craftsmanship level, I'm powerless. My wallet might as well just hand my credit card over. I thought you were doing me a favor.
I didn't want you to bid on that dinette set because I knew what it was capable of, and I knew what it agreed to, and I knew the greed of the McBush brothers. And let me tell you, like clockwork on the grandfather clock dinette set, those two approached that stage and they said,
Listen, everybody in the crowd.
That was Skeeter, of course. He's the louder of the two.
Of course.
And he said,
Listen, everybody in the crowd. Y'all have nothing on us. We have unlimited funds. Don't anybody place a bid on this dinette set. This is ours. We've had our eye on this for a minute.
Which, you know what you're making me think? Right after that, Peter approached the stand, and he's got that really weird voice. You know, I hate to say those kinds of things, but you remember his voice. He goes,
Jericho, grab the wallet. We're buying this dinette set.
And I thought, now that is a strange little man.
that was a strange little man. A lot of plaid.
More plaid than you would think one human being would be capable of wearing at any given time, but somehow Peter pulls it off.
He does. I don't fault him for that.
Henry, this is all starting to make so much sense.
I know.
I've kept these questions in the back of my mind for a decade, and I've always thought, if there's one person I trust, you know, it's Henry. And if there's one thing that I know in this world, it's dinette sets. But there's so much that's coming into focus. So what happened next?
Yeah, so basically what this brilliant dinette set did, this thing, you know, just like clockwork, I called it. You know, Skeeter and Peter brought that thing right up to their hotel suite. They got that penthouse suite, lot of space.
Greedy motherfuckers.
And that thing, I mean, they had full. I mean, there was about 58 different dinette sets in that hotel room, and they just tossed that sucker in there thinking it was the Greek Pantheon dinette set. Little did they know.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and let me tell you the twist of the century.
Hit me with it, M. Night Shyamalan.
Pluto morphed into my Dinette agent, my past Dinette agent, Jericho.
Interesting.
And Jericho brutally murdered both Peter and Skeeter McBush.
With his bare hands?
With his bare hands that, need I remind you, were probably metallic at their core.
More than likely, he had taken... More than likely, the hands had morphed into some sort of liquid metal blade.
Scythes.
Oh, precisely. Interesting. So, I can piece this together. Jericho, at least, to the naked eye.
Pluto, wink, wink.
Right. Jericho, parentheses, Pluto, is murdering Skeeter and Peter McBush with his hand scythes on camera. The police show up. They review the security camera footage. Jericho's murdering the two McBush brothers and
laughing in the camera. He's winking. He's peeing on all the other Dinette sets.
He's pulling up a piece of paper that says, "My name is Jericho and I murdered Peter and Skeeter McBush."
You did watch that footage, didn't you?
I'll be real with you. I had forgotten about it. The world of Dinette set ownership is fraught with these types of tragedies.
It's complex. This is why some people just shouldn't get involved, and those brothers had it coming.
Now, Henry, may I say something?
Please do.
Henry, I hate to hear that you've carried this weight on your shoulders for so long. I wish that you felt comfortable enough to tell me about this because I would have had your back. I'll be honest with you. I purchased a Dinette set at that DinetteCon, at 2014 DinetteCon Extreme. I had purchased the Quentin Tarantino Kill Bill Volume 2 Dinette set for the express purpose of putting a hit on someone who will go unnamed for now because the hit is still active. I'm waiting for the trap to be sprung. But if I'm being honest, these are the types of things that when you and I met and we looked each other dead in the eyes and said, "You ever heard of Dinette sets before?" I knew I'd be making a lifelong friend, and more than likely, we would end up moving a body together.
Now, I want you to know that the only reason why I didn't bring you in on this gig, on this op, is to protect you. Because Pluto wouldn't tell me what the plan was, I didn't want there to be anything that tied you in on this one, my friend. I respect you.
This is the mark of true friendship.
This is phenomenal. Based on your last session and the data that you've provided today, it's becoming clear to me that these personas are progressing through their own lives independent of our documented time together. But before you go, if you could just confirm some of the details you just...
Okay, can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I am exhausted. I'm so tired. Like we got out of the house and that was a lot. I feel better. I feel better. I mean, I feel
this process is a lot.
It is. It's exhausting, right?
It really is. But I mean, it works for people, right?
I think, and I don't tell Dr. I think it works for a lot of people. I don't 100% know that it's working for us, but it's always fun to spend time with you.
It is. And I think that's what we get out of it. You know, it may not last very long, but at least we have it while we're here.
Couples Therapy is a fully improvised narrative podcast created, produced, and hosted by Onyx and DeVogler. Edited by Jack of All, with artwork provided by Nathan Noyes, and production assistance and additional voice acting from Ryan Whitcomb. Any resemblance to events or persons mentioned in this production are purely coincidental and not reflective of reality. Make sure to follow the stars of Couples Therapy on their social media platforms at I Am Onyx and at DeVogler, respectively. Got advice for the happy couple? Send your questions, comments, and doctor's notes to weneedcouplestherapy@gmail.com.
Dinette Depot.
Come on down to Dinette Depot.
Located next to the Dillards on Moore Park. The nice one.
We're your friendly neighborhood dinette destination.
Since 1929.
Family owned.
Handcrafted.
Table and chairs.
Our selection of commercially licensed dinette sets can't be beat.
Got a custom job?
we've got you covered.
Our artisans are on site 24/7 to help craft the dinette set of your dreams. And brand new this season, Dinette Depot is now accepting Kohl's Cash, Dillard's Dollars,
And crypto.
Dinette Depot.